What is going on, everyone? So today we are going to do a deep dive into D-Wave, one of my favorite quantum computer companies, one of the best quantum computer stocks out there as a quantum pure play. They just had a big announcement yesterday that halted their stock during the trading hours on the NASDAQ. And today they reported earnings before market and had a really nice move during the day. So we're going to cover a lot. We're going to go into earnings analysis. We're going to cover the price action from today. We're going to watch the video that D-Wave put out recently promoting their new scientific breakthrough announcement. And we're going to watch an interview with Dr. Alan Baratz. So we've got a lot to cover. We're going to cover a lot in a short period of time. If you like content like this, please consider liking or subscribing. Without further ado, let's just jump right in. All right. So we're looking here at what's becoming a very familiar sight. We're looking at a very red heat map. We see some pain across the market. Apple is down 3%, Google down 2.6%, Meta down 4.7%, Amazon 2.5%, and Tesla gets beat up yet again. We do see, if we look at our quantum watch list, that we had some quantum names that had some nice green days. So QBTS, D-Wave, had an 18.73% gain today after reporting earnings. And we're going to go into why. Intel, one of my favorite kind of dark horses for 2025, they have a new CEO, and they also, a lot of people don't know this, but they're also in the quantum game. So very attractively priced in the mid 20s for a company of their reputation and size and history, and also a quantum play. And we saw, of course, a lot of selling pressure in the market, but D-Wave did very, very well. And we actually see in after hours, this has continued for D-Wave. So if we look at stock futures at the time of this recording, it does look like potentially we could see a decent market tomorrow. And what's so interesting to me about D-Wave's earnings today is they made all these gains in a market that looked like this. And it's really hard, really hard for small growth, small cap. It's very difficult for small cap companies to get traction when the market, the entire market, is as oppressive as it's been lately and when there's so much selling pressure. So to see this 18.73% gain. So to see this gain, despite the wider market and tech having a big sell-off, just shows you the strength of both D-Waves. So despite that red day, we see that D-Wave is up here putting up huge numbers, and I don't think we're done yet. If we go back, let's go into TradingView and let's go back 3 months. We have seen D-Wave climb. We've seen D-Wave climb to $8 before we got into this really rough type of tariff this, tariff that, all the time, fear and anxiety and uncertainty. We know that there was the quantum crash, which drove prices down, but D-Wave held a $10 level for quite a while. That's something that I think is going to start coming into play a little bit more is okay, well, this company, we thought it was worth about this. It held this level for quite a while. And then there was some doubt cast on quantum in the future and how far it was away. And we saw that big sell-off. And now we're seeing, you know what? We're in the show me the money phase. I think when we saw Rigetti report earnings, the financials just aren't there yet. But as we go into D-Wave's earnings, we're seeing not only are they generating cash, but their future forecasts are looking even better. So just as a growth story and a company that is looking to expand its services it looks quite impressive. All right, so let's go into those earnings a little bit because it was a little bit mixed at first. And you have to go kind of beyond, you have to go a little bit deeper sometimes, especially with these companies that are small and they're just really getting some traction under them and some momentum. So let's cover the highlights. And I really like this Tip Ranks article because I think it showed a little bit of both. So D-Wave's So the recent earnings call painted a mixed picture of the company's current standing and future prospects. While the company celebrated significant achievements in quantum supremacy and a strong financial position, challenges such as flat revenue growth and increased net losses were also evident. The record bookings and First Advantage system sale highlight business momentum, yet financial losses suggest a need for careful management moving forward. I feel like that's totally balanced. D-Wave reported an impressive $18.3 million in booking for the fourth quarter of 2024, marking a staggering 502% increase over the same period in 2023. This record-breaking figure underscores the company's growing influence and success in the quantum computing market. Quantum supremacy achievement. So we've covered this on the channel before. We covered it in previous videos, so definitely go and watch that. And we also have an article on thequantumbull.com that goes into this in depth. The company successfully demonstrated this on a real-world problem using its 1200 qubit Advantage 2 prototype, a milestone that was published in a prestigious journal, Science. Cash position. D-Wave has a robust cash position with over $300 million on hand. The company is set up well for future growth. The financial strength is expected to support the company in reaching sustained profitability, making it the first pure play quantum company to achieve this milestone. They also had their first sale of an Advantage system to the Jülich Superconducting Center, which was a business achievement for D-Wave. They had a non-GAAP gross margin improvement. D-Wave reported a non-GAAP gross margin of 72.8% for fiscal 2024, reflecting a 3% improvement. So we saw, so now we're going to get into the mixed part of this. So we've seen a lot of positive things. So revenue stagnated. D-Wave's revenue for fiscal 2024 remained flat at 8.8 million, unchanged from fiscal 2023. This highlights the challenges the company faces in converting bookings into revenue growth. Increased net loss. The company reported a net loss of 143.9 million for fiscal 24, significantly higher than the 82.7 million in the previous year. This increase is primarily due to a 68.3 million non-cash warrant liability remeasurement charge. D-Wave's revenue for the fourth quarter of 2024 was 2.3 million, a 21% decrease from 2.9 million reported in the same quarter in 2023. Adjusted EBITDA loss increase. The adjusted EBITDA was 15.3 million in Q4 2024, representing a 41% increase from Q4 2023's 10.9 million. This increase in losses indicates the need for strategic adjustments to improve financial performance. Okay. So forward-looking guidance. So this is when companies say, all right, this is what we did, but this is what we think we're going to do. This is a lot of times how stock prices trade. Not what has been done in the past, but what investors expect will happen in the future. So looking ahead, D-Wave is optimistic, expecting first quarter revenue for fiscal 25 to exceed 10 million. The company anticipates further momentum from its quantum advancements and sales. In summary, D-Wave's quantum earnings call revealed a company that is at the forefront of a quantum computing innovation. So I hopped over to Investors Business Daily because analysts estimated 2.5 million for the March quarter, and D-Wave says it expects revenue of 10 million. So imagine if NVIDIA, if Wall Street said, we expect 40 billion from you a quarter, which is what they expect. And then NVIDIA said, well, we're going to produce 180 billion. That's kind of what's happening here is that there is this growth story that's emerging. We know that money is going to be flowing into quantum. We know that it's $100 to $200 billion industry right now. We also know that hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars are going to flow into quantum in the next 5, 10, 15 years. D-Wave seems very well positioned to capture some of that inflow. Let's listen to D-Wave on D-Wave CEO explain quantum supremacy.
CEO Alan, great to speak with you. Obviously a huge lift in the stock this morning. Just curious from your perspective, what drove this massive increase in customer demand over the last quarter?
So first of all, Madison, thank you for the opportunity to join you this morning. I very much appreciate it. A significant component of our increase in bookings in Q4 of 2024 had to do with the first ever sale of one of our quantum computing systems. We sold it to the Jülich Supercomputing Center in Germany. Up until now, our primary business model has been quantum compute as a service. Customers pay us on a recurring revenue basis to access our systems. And it takes time for that revenue to grow. But when you sell a system, you get a one-time significant hit in bookings and revenue.
And so with that in mind, as you're thinking about the outlook from here, how does the pipeline look as you're ultimately finding some of these new partners to believe in this technology as you're scaling up even more so?
Yeah. So the pipeline looks very good right now. First of all, this particular system sale had a lot to do with the fact that just yesterday we announced that we had, for the first time ever in the industry of quantum, achieved quantum supremacy on an important, useful, real-world problem. In other words, we are able to solve a problem on our quantum computer that cannot be solved classically. That was of great interest to the Jülich Supercomputing Center and was really a significant driver of this system sale that has also started to generate a fair amount of interest across a number of other research institutions and government labs who are interested in themselves perhaps owning a system and being able to do similar research on that system.
Yeah, what is that quantum supremacy breakthrough that you're talking about, the ability for your supercomputer to do something a computer simply cannot do? What does that do to the argument from NVIDIA's CEO that quantum computing is just too long-term? It's not a near-term enough solution for investors to really be buying.
Well, basically, it clearly points out that he was incorrect. And I've talked about this in the past. Different quantum computers will mature over different periods of time. At D-Wave, our quantum computers are mature today. They are commercial today in the sense that we have customers that are using the system today as part of their business operations. And now we have also announced that our quantum computers can solve important problems that cannot be solved classically, full stop.
Okay. So really funny. And all this comes full circle because I remember when Dr. Baratz went on CNBC the day after Jensen made his comments, and he said all of this verbatim. We have commercial clients. Our technology is making money today, et cetera, et cetera. I played that interview on this channel multiple times. He's saying the exact same thing. And I remember distinctly on Wall Street Bets, for example, people just laughing at him or saying, oh, that's a scam, this or that, or shrugging them off. And it's just such an interesting part of human nature. If we're not comfortable with change, right? A lot of people aren't comfortable with change. We're not comfortable with new things. Then our initial reaction is, that can't be. It can't be because I don't understand it. Well, it doesn't matter if you don't understand it. Well, it doesn't matter if you don't understand how a quantum computer works. It doesn't matter if you're a quantum scientist or not. What matters is that historically, over the course of human history, technology has marched forward, agnostic of your political party, your set of beliefs, personal opinions on anything. Science and technology has a way of continuing to march forward regardless of your feelings. So I think it's very interesting. And I think he handled this interview very well. He just said, yeah, it turns out he was incorrect. And he said it at the time. And that was, no one listened, right? No one listened at all. Quantum stocks went down 60%. No one put any validity into what he was saying. And he was one of the only CEOs to actually say something, to actually come out and say, wait a minute, hold on. You could talk about GPUs and you can talk about graphics cards and you know a lot about those things, but you don't know everything about quantum computers. This is my business. This is what I'm doing. And now I think we're starting to see, okay, all right, this disruptive technology, this Alan guy, he might know what he's talking about. All right, and we're going to take a quick look at D-Wave's quantum stock forecast. So analyst coverage right now has D-Wave sitting at a strong buy with a total of, let's see, we have 5 analysts with upside between 15 and 60%. We see price targets as high as $11, as low as $225. I'm going to tell you right now, if they keep selling this hardware, it's going to balloon up their quarterlies. Okay, and the interest that he's talking about, that the research they released now 2 days ago, that's going to be amazing for their Q1 2025, if not Q2 2025. Okay. So $11, $10 being high is also where it was before the quantum crash. So I could see it potentially even doing better than that as long as D-Wave keeps executing. So speaking of executing, let's take a look at the recent video that D-Wave released called Beyond Classical Computing. And this was their announcement video. And I thought it was just super well done from a production standpoint. I like how they're going on camera. I like how they're taking a much more aggressive marketing approach. There's a huge gap. It was super clear that there was a huge gap in marketing and public relations. That's where a lot of my personal training is in marketing, communication, public relations. I love to see what they're doing. Let's watch this video and I'll give a quick react and then we're going to call it a day because this is getting long.
This is a landmark occasion for D-Wave and for quantum computing. Our D-Wave quantum computer has solved an important real-world problem remarkably better, faster, and with greater energy efficiency than possible with a classical computer. It's the first demonstration of computational supremacy on a useful problem. The problem was in the area of material simulation. This proves that D-Wave quantum computers are now capable of solving useful problems beyond the reach of classical computers. This is what everyone working in quantum computing has aspired to do for decades, but hasn't been able to achieve. Until now. Our Advantage 2 annealing quantum computer solved a complex material simulation problem in 20 minutes. Not only did our system solve this problem much faster than a classical supercomputer, but it did so using just 12 kilowatts of energy. That same problem would require well over the world's annual energy consumption on a GPU cluster. It's a remarkable achievement. The exploration of new materials is a computationally complex and expensive task. Today's GPU clusters and supercomputers just don't have the computational processing power to solve these problems in a timely or energy-efficient manner, making materials discovery a vital area of research for D-Wave and the quantum industry.
Over the past several years, D-Wave's product team has been aggressive in its efforts to advance annealing quantum computing technology. We developed a new fabrication stack to build our Advantage 2 processors. We released our 1200 qubit scale prototype in February of 2024. And in April of 2024, we released our fast anneal feature across our entire portfolio of QPU solvers. The combination of these two product releases allows anyone to replicate our computational supremacy results.
Quick pause. I just want to say it's so good when a CEO goes in front of the camera, goes in front of the investor and speaks directly to them. If more CEOs were more transparent like Dr. Baratz, it'd be a better world for the investor. So I just want to say, you can have your opinions. I saw people, I was in a thread today and I saw people saying, oh, this isn't, none of this is true. Like, look at this article. And you have all kinds of naysayers, and you have people that come out and say, oh, this company makes no money and they don't know what they're doing and the science isn't real. And you just see them come out. And then I asked one of them before earnings and I said, okay, so what happens tomorrow when this stock pops 20% on a good earnings? And are you going to move the goalpost? What's going to happen at that point? And that's what happens. The goalposts get moved. The negativity never stops, right?
Ever since Feynman's proposal, physicists have anticipated the role of quantum computing in simulating properties of matter. The behavior of materials is governed by the laws of quantum physics, and understanding the quantum nature of materials is crucial to finding new ways to exploit those properties for technological advancement.
Material science is extremely complex, and the computational muscle necessary to fully understand this problem is outside the scope of classical computations. This is why quantum computing is seen as a critical component for developing new materials, and why we worked with global leaders across a variety of scientific research disciplines on this computational supremacy result. Over the years, D-Wave has worked on experiments to simulate the many-body quantum dynamics of physical systems that are difficult to simulate classically.
We believe in relentless innovation and product delivery. In less than 3 years, we provided customers with a prototype powerful enough to demonstrate quantum supremacy.
Through this research, we've unequivocally shown that our annealing quantum computer can go beyond classical, solving important material science problems that are out of the reach of today's supercomputers. We believe D-Wave is years ahead of the rest of the market in terms of product readiness and maturity of our quantum computing technology, and this performance milestone reflects that.
So incredible production quality, very strong messaging. Clearly, the talented folks over at D-Wave are competitive. They're proud of what they're working on, and they're looking to make waves. This is a textbook disruptor technology, textbook disruptive small growth company and small cap growth company. And who knows where they're going to be in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Just awesome. Okay. And I want to just wrap things up today. So we put together a deep dive article on this quantum supremacy announcement. If you jump over to thequantumbull.com and click on news, it's the first article right now today. It's the D-Wave Achieves Quantum Supremacy. And this is a deep dive article. It actually includes this video. So if you want to watch this video again, it's right at the top. D-Wave stuns the quantum industry with a revolutionary development. It explains what is quantum supremacy. It has some custom artwork. D-Wave's breakthroughs, solving the problem, and talking about sort of a comparison of the different types of quantum computing, real world impacts. It's one of the deeper dives that I've done on the website so far. So if you want to nerd out and learn more, jump over to thequantumbull.com. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this content. Good luck out in the market. Hopefully those futures hold up, and we'll talk to you all soon.